The Northern Lights, a spectacle very few get to experience, but for those who do, it stuns, amazes and sometimes even frightens. Throughout the course of this documentary you'll be shown not only the power and intrigue the Aurora Borealis holds, but the myth, belief and curiosity surrounding it. The Inuits, sometimes called Eskimos, are a civilization thought to have begun in around 1300 AD, when the Thule culture crossed the sea into Canada and Greenland from coastal Alaska. It is believed that all true, modern Inuit are direct descendants of the original colonizers, and hence through their oral ethos, the original belief system is over 700 years old. There are many Inuit beliefs as to what the Northern Lights represent, and the most common one is it is the souls of the dead, and that if examined closely enough it would be possible to see the faces and friends of family that had passed away. The Aurora Borealis represent the Christian heaven for Inuit people. Another popular belief was that they were the souls of the animals and that each person had an animal guardian to help them hunt, and also as a spirit to heal in time of dire need, an idea that has been adopted in many modern films. The normal Inuit couldn't directly understand its spirit guide, so each village had an Angakuk, or a shaman, to interpret the meaning of these animal souls and deliver messages back. However, the Northern Lights were not always a force for good, and in a tale which is still told to Inuit children, the Aurora Borealis is a placid demon, and if you whistled at it, the demon would come down and chop off your head. The Inuit civilizations are not the only peoples who have ideas and beliefs surrounding the Northern Lights, and many Scandinavian countries have some as well, with many countries such as Norway and Sweden telling a tale of a fox dancing through the sky with fire on its tail, painting what we see as the Northern Lights. While these fantastical stories thrill and amaze, is there any scientific backing to the beliefs in and around the Arctic Circle? Over the last 200 years, our understanding of the Northern Lights has developed from a mere superstitious belief to a force that can be measured and recorded, and with the development of new technology, we can now comprehend the wonder, the power and the problems the Northern Lights could bring us in the future. The first major breakthrough in auroral science came from Christian Hanstein, who collected data from ship's captains, and discovered that the lights were in fact a ring. He linked this to the Earth's magnetic field to create the first ever magnetic field map. Hanstein's ring theory was later enhanced by a Danish-born teacher called Sophus Tromholt. By collecting reports from over 2,000 people, Tromholt deducted that the Aurora Borealis formed an oval ring around the North Pole, and not a perfect ring as previously thought. He was also the first to link the Northern Lights to an 11-year sunspot cycle, noticing that every cycle there was a period of intense auroral activity. The next period due for intense auroral activity is the winter of 2012 and early 2013. The next major breakthrough in auroral understanding was Christian Birkeland's discovery of charged particles causing the Northern Lights. The Torella Experiment was devised by Birkeland, and he used a sphere of lodestone to represent the Earth in a vacuum box. He then fired cathode rays into the box and found that it formed a ring of light around the top and bottom of the sphere, not too dissimilar from the Northern Lights he was studying. This was the first synthesized aurora, and from his experiment Birkeland was able to deduct that the reason for the northern and hence southern lights was due to electrons being directed by the magnetosphere and reacting with gases in the atmosphere. This relativity between the Northern Lights and sunspot activity had already been noted, and so Birkeland linked these two together to form the basic principle of today's widely respected theory, that these charged particles travel around 150 million kilometers from the Sun and collide with Earth's magnetosphere, forming the auroras at either pole. Birkeland's theory still stands today, and progressed beliefs about the Northern Lights from merely the supernatural to a force of nature that can be explained and described. Niels Bohr improved his theory by suggesting an atomic model that explains why light is given off. He stated that each electron in an atom of hydrogen has a set energy level, and when it moves closer to the nucleus, the excess energy is given off as photons of light. This simple explanation made Birkeland's general statement of reacting with gases in the atmosphere more complex and allowed us to understand how the electrons react when they reach Earth. Using Bohr's model and the new spectrum of light that was formed off the back of Bohr's discovery, Lars Vegard compared the northern lights with the light spectrum to discover it was mainly made up of hydrogen atoms. Since there were so few hydrogen atoms naturally at that altitude, Vegard stated that it was due to the solar wind hitting the Earth and being channeled to the poles, as Birkeland had earlier suggested.